Hi everyone, I'm Anna, a poor girl who has just been cheated by my boyfriend. Please like and subscribe to my channel to hear my story. A month ago, I was still extremely happy with my lover, Tom. We were in love for almost 4 years in college. I was always proud to have a handsome and rich boyfriend. All those years, my life revolved almost exclusively around my studies and Tom. Tom, what are you doing? Let's hang out together. Sorry, Tom's busy, so I'm not going anywhere. Can I take Tom to go coffee with us? These were things I usually said when asked by someone. Honestly, those happy days in love made me less intelligent. It was not until our breakup that I realized that most of my friends had already left. Now, I have only 2 close friends, Hubert and Jade. Although they were disappointed with a friend like me. Fortunately, neither abandoned me when I was in trouble. The day I found out the truth was when I decided to go out without Tom accompanying me. I planned to visit some old friends and then go shopping to get ready for Tom's upcoming birthday party. Thinking back, maybe God's will arranged me to know about this when I accidentally met his mistress in a bathroom. Since neither of us knew each other, she was very friendly, helping me fix the skewed dress, which gave me a deep impression of that girl. When I finished shopping and was about to leave the mall, I suddenly saw a familiar figure walking out of the door. My sixth sense made me think it was Tom, so I followed him. As expected, he was with a girl I met in the toilet earlier, holding hands extremely close. Considering Tom as my whole life but betrayed, I froze. Watching them leave, I did not cry, did not hurt, but still casually carried my things back. It wasn't until I got home then my emotions flared up. I felt my chest ache and was crying so hard that I could not breathe. However, even though I had seen Tom betray me with my own eyes, I had not woken up. Love made me so stupid that I thought that as long as I changed myself to be more beautiful, Tom would be one-hearted with me. I wiped away my tears using the money I had accumulated by writing to change my appearance. I changed my hairstyle to current hot trend, made beautiful nails, and bought good clothes and cosmetics to take care of my skin. Seeing myself in the mirror, I also felt self-love. So, I was sure that Tom would love me even more. On Tom's birthday, I prepared everything early. That day, I wore a tight dress that accentuated the curves of my body. Needless to say, not only Tom but his friends were admiring. That whole day, Tom clung to me without leaving. I secretly thought that my plan was successful. But life was not like a dream. You know what? Tom, even though he was with me, still did not give up on his mistress. I spotted him secretly calling that girl with very sweet words. At that time, I seemed to fall into the abyss when I tried my best. But the result was still betrayal, and my emotions exploded. I made a fuss, exposing Tom's sneaking in love with another girl in front of everyone in order to humiliate him and then ask for a breakup. But all of a sudden, this thing will definitely surprise all of you. Tom didn't deny it, but instead said,
Come on, Anna. You have to be proud to have a boyfriend who's liked by many people. Does it not prove that I'm a great man? But if you don't like it, I'll not contact her anymore.
I was surprised to hear that. Before I could respond, I was shocked again when Tom's friend took sides to protect him.
Don't overdo it like that. Men are all the same. It matters who they love the most.
His friends also agreed. They even took sides with each other to criticize me for having a handsome, rich lover but not appreciating it.
If you're like that, Tom will leave you and find someone else.
That was really what I heard when I was cheated. From a victim, I turned into a bad woman who didn't appreciate her man. It was so unfair, but thanks to that, I was enlightened. So I kicked them, including Tom, out of the house. Of course, the 3-year relationship ended like that, and I wasn't happy at all. Already having few friends, a little interaction with people, I became even more close after the breakup. When alone, I reread all messages and watch happy moments together. Obviously, I cried again. It was hard to forget someone you had once considered everything. In addition, even though I was determined to break up, Tom refused to let me go. He kept texting and calling. I almost couldn't help but pick up the phone. Thankfully, Jade was quick enough to stop me. The climax of the harassment was when, in the middle of the night, Tom went door to door, knocking at the door to ask to come in. I insisted on not opening the door when he threatened.
I'll give you some time to think about making up. If you don't agree, your nude photos will be posted online.
Upon saying that, he sent me pictures he had taken secretly. I watched them in shock and speechless. The more I thought about it, the more I didn't understand why he was like that. It turned out that all the good things Tom had for me were lies. Probably, he also behaved like that towards other girls. Thinking about that, I immediately felt disgusted. Since that incident, I had grown more and more afraid of Tom. I told my 2 friends about that, and they asked me to move to Jade's house. There were 2 of them around, no longer alone. So, I was in a better mood. After a moment of confidence, Jade suggested,
Look, now we have to make a list of things to do after the makeup. And you have to follow it to get out of this bad relationship quickly.
I nodded in agreement, and the 3 of us discussed what to do. We set out the following principles. Firstly, absolutely did not listen to the phone and responded to Tom's messages. Secondly, absolutely did not let Tom into the house. Third, firmly did not see Tom even if he said it was the last time. Fourth, do not be afraid, even when threatened. Must be stronger than the opponent to win over him. After agreeing on a final plan, to make sure the plan would be completed smoothly, Jade and Hubert asked me to swear to them. From this moment on, Anna vows to be determined to change herself, to say no to treacherous boyfriend, to pay him for his betrayal. If she breaks her vows, Anna will be single for the rest of her life. 2 of my friends were very pleased with that fierce oath. I myself felt extremely elated. I was happy, not because of revenge on the bad guy, not because I had no grief, but because I found a new purpose in life that no longer depended on love. The first thing I needed to do was buy a new phone and SIM card to communicate with people and avoid getting annoyed by Tom. Are you wondering why it was such a hassle when I just needed to block him in all social platforms? Remember how Tom threatened me the other day? If I cut it all off, he would actually post the photos he had secretly taken on the internet. Tom was losing control. Directly lighting the oil into the fire would drive him mad and do more things out of control. I thought back and asked, but I'm not at home. If Tom comes to my house and can find me, will he take the risk?
You need to keep your life safety first so you can protect your honor. I have a cousin who works as a police officer. I will contact him so that if Tom really does so, it will be dealt with quickly.
Hearing those words, I was somewhat relieved. That night, I had a good night's sleep after days of sleeplessness because of my crying. I woke up the next morning and checked my old phone. It still had a bunch of Tom's text messages, and just as I thought, he was angry that he didn't see me at home. The more I thought about it, the more I didn't understand why he had to cling to me endlessly when he still had another mistress. Not having time to think much, I changed into simple clothes and went with Jade to meet a person. That was Tom's mistress who I met the other day before. It took me a long time to find her social media account among thousands of comments on Tom's post on Instagram. It was annoying to stalk my ex's profile, but I had no choice. I took the initiative to text and make an appointment with her at a cafe in an alley because I felt that such places were safer. As soon as I walked in, the girl easily recognized me and waved. I was apprehensive at first, but that girl's enthusiasm made me more confident. Not wanting to waste both of our time, I went straight to the main topic. Watching the expression on Lily's face, the girl's name, I guess she probably didn't know she was the third person. Lily's teary eyes fell into silence, and after a while, she said,
Tom said he was single. I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
I believe you, so please help me with this. Lily, after listening to me, her face worsened. Perhaps she was afraid that she would be in the same situation. So when I asked for help, she didn't hesitate to agree. At the end of the appointment, instead of returning to Jade's house, I went to my own home. because that morning, when I checked my phone, in addition to Tom's messages, I received hundreds of messages from friends on social media. They complained that Tom kept contacting them asking about where I was and threatened them that if they hid me, Tom would come to their houses to make a fuss. Since I didn't want to disturb everyone, I had to go back home. To make sure I was safe, Hubert asked his cousin to come to my house to check and install additional cameras and anti-theft locks. Of course, Jade and Hubert also came to stay with me. It was really nice to have good friends around. It also made me feel ashamed because that time, before I only focused on love and forgot about my friends. On Tom's side, Lily was asked by me to put in sleeping pills for Tom and then take advantage of his sleep to check on his phone. Indeed, in addition to me and Lily, Tom had relationships with many other girls and had a one-night stand with each of them. It was even more terrible that he shared naked photos of the girls, including Lily, with his group of friends. Lily tried to remain calm, capturing all the text messages and videos, photos, and audio recordings he had made to prove he's spreading delicate photos of others. Having done it all, she handed everything over to me and continued to pretend to be happy with him, as if she didn't know anything to avoid being suspected by him. I had to say that I was really lucky to meet Lily. Not every girl who fell into this situation was brave enough to expose the bad guy. Many people were afraid of scandals, and even more afraid of getting into trouble, if unfortunately discovered, so they often chose to remain silent and endure. With all the evidence Lily handed over, my friends and I began to plan to punish this man. Everything was ready. All I needed to do was silently waiting for the opportunity. After days of not seeing my response, Tom finally lost his patience. In the evening, he came to my house, knocking on the door with a baseball bat. If it hadn't been for my friends there, I would have panicked and ruined the plan. I took a deep breath and said, "Hey, Tom, we've broken up. Please, stop this."
I said no breakup! Open the door!
Finding it non-negotiable, I began to provoke. "You're a bad guy. Get out of here." Tom rolled his eyes. He didn't say anything and swung his baseball bat at the door. After some moments of frenzy, the solid wooden door still showed no signs of falling. So, he moved to the window at the back of the house. I had to say that Hubert was cautious. He had thought this might happen. So, he sent a mechanic to install the iron bars. The glass window shattered but couldn't get in. Tom was even more furious. He ran to his car, took out 2 large cans of gasoline, and dumped them around my house. I panicked at the time. Despite the evidence, it wasn't enough for Tom to get a heavy punishment. So, our aim was to provoke Tom, to make him do some acts of sabotage, and then have an excuse for the police to come and arrest him. However, he was crazier than we thought.
Go out quickly, or I'll burn down the house!
Hubert called the police, but they couldn't come right away because they had to detour, as the fastest stretch was being repaired. There was no other way. We had to find a way to extend the time. "Throw away the baseball bat. I'll go out to see you." But now that Tom was out of control, he didn't hear anything else and just insisted on forcing me to get out of the house. The lighter in Tom's hand was on fire. I couldn't be afraid to hide like this anymore. Not wanting my friends to be in danger because of me, I insisted on opening the door to go out. As soon as he saw me walk out, Tom rushed over. I was scared, closed my eyes, and put my hands out when I heard a deafening scream. I slowly opened my eyes and saw that Tom had fallen to the ground. As it turned out, Hubert's cousin arrived in time to use a stun gun to paralyze Tom and save us. 5 minutes later, the police arrived. I gave all the evidence I had along with what happened that day. Tom would probably spend a long time in jail. If the policeman hadn't arrived, I might have died. Fortunately, my nightmare was finally over, and life was back to normal. Without love, I realized that I was doing well and even better than before. I actively participated in activities, had many friends, and had many new joys. 4 years of college ended. I graduated with a law degree, and now I'm working in a law firm. After the breakup, I was pursued by many other men. However, I rejected them and continued my single life. You guys, don't think I've lost faith in love because of the old story. In fact, I have other big plans rather than spending time in love. Outside of work, I am continuing my studies to get a master's degree. I'm also applying to join organizations to protect women. As an experienced person, I want to use my experiences to help girls who are unlucky encounter the same thing. I'm Anna, working as a lawyer at the LDA law firm. If you're stuck, don't hesitate to comment and seek help.